Tim Albright with AVNation at NAB 2025 with Sam Ferris in the Sony booth.
That's right.
We know you guys from our equipment installs, displays, all sorts of things, but you're in charge of something that I personally am very excited about, and that's virtual production.
That's right.
So talk for a second about what Sony's philosophy is behind your virtual production model.
Yeah, so virtual production is so important for Sony that we are the only camera manufacturer that makes the camera and the LED wall.
Okay.
And because of that, we understand the intricacies in color accuracy and also the necessary frame rates that we need and the frequencies that we need in order to make virtual production happen. In addition to that, we've been working closely with Epic Games, Unreal Engine, and they're a partner of ours for many years, way back in the PlayStation days. So working together with them, we've also created a plugin for Unreal that allows us to have a virtual Venice in the Unreal environment. Okay. And that virtual Venice has every feature of the Venice, including the color science. So from that, I can have an accurate previs for my DP and my directors to be able to see what they're going to get on the day of the shoot beforehand, if they already know what kind of LUT they're going to be using. Wow. So the cool thing about it too is that we finally closed the gap of having a full ecosystem by creating a camera tracking system called Ocellus, and that's we're launching Ocellus here today, and this is it right here on top of the Venice 2 camera. But the nice thing about Ocellus is that it's our own camera tracking system that allows us to now know where the position of the camera is in the 3D environment.
Okay, so talk about why that is important, because you've got everything from the camera, now the system, and also the camera LED, right? So the display.
So when we're looking at it, the important part about it is that in order to do proper virtual production, you never want to focus on the LED wall. Okay. And with our Verona panels, we have a 1.5 inch or a 2.3 pitch that we can allow the camera to get much closer on the 1.5 pitch if we have a smaller set. If we have a larger set, we can go for the 2.3 pitch. But the idea that we can now predict moire before the shoot, that's where the magic happens, because now in previs I can figure out where I'm going to block my actors, what camera sensor I should be using, or what portion of the sensor, what kind of lens focal distance I want, and I could actually block the scene almost perfectly to what I'm going to shoot on the day. And by having a virtual Venice in the Unreal, all the settings of the real camera I could be setting in the previs and basically shoot the whole movie and have those settings translate to the real camera on the day of the shoot.
You said a word there, moire. I know what it is, but if somebody doesn't know what it is?
So moire is physics. It's not a Sony problem, it's not a virtual production problem. It's when the camera sensor can see the pixels of the LED wall, when we're focusing on the wall. And in virtual production, we never want to focus on the wall, right? We always want the wall to be a background. We're focusing on the actors, the people in the foreground. The idea that moire detection can be done now in previs, and even in real time, like while we're shooting, that's preventing a lot of loss of money in production and post-production to fix those types of problems. And now we've even taken it one step further, which I got really excited about. The nerd in me was that we have moire metadata on the file in the next version of the Venice. So the Venice firmware, working together with the virtual production toolset software plugin, those two, when they work together, now I have metadata being recorded whenever I am in a moire situation.
That's awesome.
So my editor can just look at the file and be like, oh, he was out of focus here, and here he's in focus, and the moire is a problem. That type of accuracy are just all tools for virtual production to be easier for the user, easier for the DP, easier for the creative. We also have a color calibration system now that can work with any LED wall, but the thing that we can work with our wall specifically is the ability to do off angle. So what you're looking at here is a shot where we're directly shooting a 90-degree angle, and of course we're gonna see that the off angle color shift will happen, right? But because we know the pixel orientation of our Verona, and because we know how we're shooting, we can actually do a compensation for that color shift. And if you look at the output of the screen, Rhett, can we pan over to the right on the jib, please? When we go directly to the corner, you'll see that on my camera output, it looks flat. It doesn't look like I'm actually shooting a corner. And I don't have the same color, off-axis color shift that I'm seeing with my own eyes, right? That's all being compensated. The beautiful part about the Ocellus, which is our camera tracking system, it works indoors and outdoors. So we're not limited to just working on a stage anymore, because now we can record an FBX file inside the processor that lets me then add a virtual creature, 3D character into my scene and have that match the perspective of my camera.
Oh, wow.
So I can go out and shoot on the street and then add Incredible Hulk or the Avengers, you know, to that shot afterwards in post-production, because I have that information of all my camera tracking inside that FBX file.
That's huge. All right, Sam, someone wants to find out more about Sony virtual production or Verona. How do they do that?
So go to sonyscine.com and then look up virtual production, or you could just go to our Sony website, sony.com, and then you'll type in virtual production, you'll find it.
All right.
We have plugins available that are for Unreal Engine that are free that you can try out, and we'd love to have you guys try them out and give us your feedback, because this is a time when Sony's really listening to the customer and creating tools and solutions for all those customers that work in virtual production.
Excellent. All right.
Thank you so much.
From Sony for us, for AVNation.
Thank you.
Go by our website, avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv. Find more videos from the show floor of NAB 2025. All that and more at avnation.tv. It's avnation.tv.